Some investors are fearing the tariffs could fuel stagflation. Here's a journal piece today talking about the International Chamber of Commerce warning that tariffs could risk sinking the world into a, quote, new Great Depression. Ryan, you say the rumors of a growth scare are greatly exaggerated in your research this week. Tell us why.
Well, I think first off, how do we go from animal spirits to stagflation in 2 months, right? That's a pretty dramatic change in view. I think first off, if you look at the 10-year Treasury, which is kind of your litmus test for where inflation's going, it's come down. So that means that inflation is actually moderating, not going up. So I suspect the market's telling you that a lot of this tariff talk is still a negotiation, right?
Yeah.
Every day it changes. Howard Lutnick came out and said, we make compromise now.
Right.
So we're not sure where that's going. But I think the bottom line is you had some weak economic indicators in January. And a lot of that had to do with consumption was down. People weren't spending because it was the coldest January since 1988. Like, I know I wanted to go out and buy a couple nice jackets, look as good as Adam on TV, but I didn't want to go outside because it was too cold. You had the wildfires as well. And also you had a lot of front running on these tariffs with imports, which makes our trade deficit look a little bit larger than it actually is. So I think the growth story is still true, and I think you got to keep your eye on the prize here. We've got low unemployment, job market's going to come in, labor market's going to come in, the numbers are going to come in strong on Friday. Inflation has moderated a lot, and we've got this technology boom that's going to increase productivity across all companies in America. These are all very good things.
And much of President Trump's agenda is deflationary. When you talk about deregulation, we talk about extending the tax cuts. These are all really growth plans. But I'm glad you mentioned Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, because he joined me on Sunday and raised this suggestion that there's room to negotiate on the tariffs for Mexico and Canada. Watch this.
There are going to be tariffs on Tuesday on Mexico and Canada. Exactly what they are, we're going to leave that for the president and his team to negotiate. And obviously, I'm talking to him all the time to discuss what that's going to be on Tuesday. But China's got to stop making these ingredients.
Well, it sounds like President Trump knows exactly his customer in China and is dealing with that. But in terms of Mexico and Canada, what I think I hear is there is some room here. Maybe 25% tariff doesn't go into effect on Tuesday. Maybe he's able to negotiate it down, given that they have shown some willingness to help on the border.
I spoke to Tom Homan yesterday, and he was very optimistic about the kind of work that Mexico and Canada are doing on the border, lowest crossings ever. So in that regard, they've done an excellent job, but they just haven't moved on the fentanyl deaths in America.
So the Commerce Secretary reiterated that yesterday, came on Fox Business again with Larry Kudlow and reiterated the idea that maybe President Trump is negotiating now with Mexico and Canada to get that price lower. They did go into effect, and they did trigger retaliation, though.
They absolutely did, but the market's up today because I think the market's telling you that, look, the man who wrote The Art of the Deal is probably negotiating here. And I also add here, too, when it comes to the consumer, I know Adam's going to talk about oil. Oil prices have come down a lot. That is a tax break for the American consumer. That's just another catalyst right now for more firepower for the consumer to spend over the course of the year. So there's a lot of tailwinds here that you can't ignore, especially thinking about allocating your capital.